Hello and welcome to the show today. My guest is a fellow talk show host. Let's go to the clip now to see a bit of his work.
Oh my gosh, I gotta say, this is a truly huge honor because you were one of my heroes growing up. I wanted to be you. I was you for Halloween. It was so amazing watching you and Pikachu go around all these different areas, battling all these different trainers, confounding Team Rocket at least a million times.
Yeah.
It was truly amazing.
Isn't that great to listen to? Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Daniel. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Hey, relax, Caribou. This is not a race. This is not a contest. We're all getting to the finish line together.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Now, where I always begin with these interviews is, of course, what got you into, interviewing yourself? What made you decide to start doing a talk show?
Well, Caribou, or Caboo, Boo Boo Kachu, I am the walrus. Sorry there.
That's all right.
Well, Caboose, that all starts with a story. Well, let me try that again. Let me try that one more time. Well, Caboose, this is all... Sorry, my bad. Trust me, we use this all the time on the show. Well, Caboose, this all starts with a story about a man named Jed. Jed! And that was the obligatory Beverly Hillbilly joke. Got that out of the way. Well, Caboose, it actually starts back when I was about 12 years old. My dad, on weekends, would be a traveling DJ. He would do weddings, anniversaries, retirement parties, and along this line, he asked me to come help him, be his assistant, carry the equipment, get him food, go for this, go for that, a gopher, if you will. And after seeing a lot of that, I kind of liked the aspect of radio. So after I graduated high school and I was getting ready to go to electronic media at the University of Cincinnati because my ACT wasn't good enough to get into DAP, I actually really wanted to design video games when I went to college. Unfortunately, my grades weren't good enough, so I couldn't get into DAP. So when I went to electronic media, I would say about my sophomore year, I saw a flyer in one of the more bigger buildings at UC where all the classes would go. It was a sign for Bearcast, which was UC's student-run radio station. I figured, well, I got some experience with doing the thing with my dad, so I head over and I have an audition, and they ask me, what's the name of your show? Well, first off I go, can you give me a few minutes? So then I run over to the student center, the TUC, and I see 3 signs. I see one sign that says, all student activities canceled, experience the taste of Wendy's Baconator, and Smoothie Explosion. So I look at all 3 signs, I go, all taste explosion. And that was how the All Taste Explosion was born. Now people ask, what's with the handle of Boogaloo Shrimp? Well, there was an episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a popular show with Will Smith, where Will and Carlton go to Las Vegas, and they lose all their money. So they have to enter a dance competition, and it's an 80s dance competition. So when they go on stage, the announcer announces them as Will the Thrill and Boogaloo Shrimp. First off, Boogaloo Shrimp is a funny name. That's an awesome name. He was actually the name of a dancer that danced with another dancer called Shabadoo. If you don't know who Shabadoo is, watch the episode of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show where Captain Lou learns how to dance, or break dance. Totally awesome episode, by the way. He doesn't really dance. They just shoot some other guy from the feet down, and they try to make it look like he's dancing. Because he's an old guy, so he can't dance. But anyway, so in about 2008, I guess January 2008, we started doing the All Taste Explosion. Thought it was a pretty good show. We had some good segments on there. At 20 minutes past the second hour, we did Carlton Dance Time, where we played Tom Jones' It's Not Unusual. The dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
dun,
yeah,
dun,
Tom Jones.
Not unusual to be loved by anyone. That became a little tradition, and we branched out. We did the Sneezing Monkey segment, where every day we would show, or play, where every episode we play a sound clip of a sneezing monkey. We got from the Late Show with David Letterman, because I thought Sneezing Monkey was funny. Then, come 2009, I win the Bearcast Innovator Award for being innovative in the radio community. So I figure, you know what? I want to branch out into talk shows because I was a big talk show fan. I love Letterman. I love Jay. Lopez was pretty good too. Conan, he's kind of lost a lot of faith and popularity. But October 2009, we debuted the Dennis Daniels Show. Its premise, just like Late Night Talk Show, but earlier in the day. And our first ever guest was voice actor Pat Fraley, who was best known as Krang from the original 1980s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Neat.
Oh, it was totally neat. This is my first ever interview. I was nervous. I was sweating bullets. Again, you got to hear the first ever episode compared to the stuff we do today. There's a evolution of the Dennis Daniels Show. But anyway, as I introduce him, I go, Mr. Fraley, thank you. Welcome to the Dennis Daniels Show. I don't hear Mr. Fraley. Guess who I hear?
I'm going to guess Krang.
Krang. Yes. The infamous Krang Dennis Daniel incident. We trash talked each other for like 2 minutes. And then he came on and it was so much fun. And that actually leads into another interesting story. That was actually how we started interviewing characters on the show. For those who don't know, we do interview some of the characters. We have some of the guests that they'll do their characters for us so we can talk to them. So that's actually how we got started doing the character bit. And I think our best known one involves a certain jackass by the name of Seto Kaiba. Okay, here's the story behind that. You know, after hearing Crane trash talk me, I wanted to get some revenge, so I start trash talking Kaiba. Then the phone rings, and I go, Bearcast Radio, this is the Dennis Daniels Show, and you are on the air. And I hear, yeah, let's get this straight. Just because you have some kooky little radio show that broadcasts to 3 people, you think you and your kooky little sidekick, whose last name is a cheap second-rate show. By the way, it was John Pokemon, so it was Pokemon. So he's making fun of Pokemon. He goes, can beat the greatest duelist ever, Seto Kaiba? Let me think. I think the answer is no. And, of course, I was caught off guard totally because Eric Stewart has not lost a beat doing Kaiba. That guy could do Kaiba pretty good. He can even do winging it pretty good. But your listeners ought to check out the YouTube channel and check that out. It's Dennis Daniel versus Seto Kaiba. It is our most popular clip on our entire YouTube channel. I think it's what we're best known for. The guy that got chewed out by Seto Kaiba. And that's kind of how the show started.
Now, of course, doing a talk show can be a bit difficult in certain ways. I mean, for you, what is the hardest part of doing your show?
Well, it's actually a tie between getting guests and getting people to listen to you. Let's face it, getting guests, you're just starting off on your show. You want to get these big-name guests that have made such an impact in the voice acting industry, in the pro wrestling industry, the pop culture industry. It can be kind of tough. I think the one thing that did help us get all these guests is the fact that we are at the University of Cincinnati, and a lot more people will look at you if you're starting off at a college level, because they'll be willing to help you, show you how to learn, essentially doing that kind of stuff. It's kind of like charity. Now, we have gotten some rejections. We've gotten tons of rejections. For those of you who do want to host their own podcast or talk show, you're going to hear no a lot more than you're going to hear yes. So it is not easy doing a talk show. The first thing you got to do, you got to be constant. You got to constantly deliver stuff. You will not get listeners if you do not constantly drop stuff on them. Trust me, but it's hard. It's hard because I've been down that road a lot myself. Even getting guests now after we've been on the air for almost 3 years, still difficult. But the thing that you want to keep in mind is tenacity will pay off eventually. If you do something long enough, you will eventually get what you've been looking for. It may be a guest, it may not be a big guest, but a guest is a guest nonetheless. I can remember when we had, who was it? It was, we were actually trying to get a big name on Bearcast Radio for competition. we were trying to get a guy by the name of Henry Winkler on the show. For those who don't know, Henry Winkler was the Fonz from Happy Days. Now I thought, I'll never get this guy on my show. Maybe I can get a 5-minute interview with him. So I send my email out to his agent. The next day I get a phone call. Hi there, is this Dennis? Yes, it is. Hi, I'm Henry Winkler's agent. Would you like to interview him on your show over the phone? First up, I made the Rainbow Dash, it's going to be so awesome face. Because it's Henry Winkler, the epitome of cool, the freaking Fonz, Caribou. It is the essential guy if you want to talk about coolness. And he was going to be on my show. I had the awesome face on my head. I had the awesome face on my face all day. I was in denial. I'm like, I got Henry Winkler on my show. Fonzie is going to be on my show. And of course, we had him on a couple days later. He was super nice. He was funny. He even caught me off guard most of the interview. We tried our best to keep on focus, but he was just so incredible. And that was one of the interviews that I will never, ever forget doing. I have to say, it's even bigger than Veronica Taylor. It might even actually be bigger than John Cena. Henry Winkler was so amazing.
So, would you say that is your favorite interview so far that you've done? You've done quite a few, really known, brilliant voice actors. But is there any who are your favorites?
Oh, please don't make me pick Caboos. There are just so many. Karen Strassman was so funny. She lit up the studio and she did the characters for us. We even did Dennis confronting Colleen Stadfeld for being associated with the Black Knights. That was a lot of fun to do. Talking to Richard Epcar, he was so much fun as well. He's a big James Bond fan. We even talked about Sean Connery doing the role, and of course that led to us talking about Celebrity Jeopardy from Saturday Night Live with Will Ferrell, where Daryl Harmon did Sean Connery's like, yeah, go to she again for Beck. And then Will Ferrell would go, this is the sound a dog makes. And Sean goes, moo. And then Alex goes, no. And then Sean goes, well, that's the sound your mother made last night.
Nice.
Netflix, watch the best of Will Ferrell. You'll see that. What I really loved was when Will Ferrell went, of Simon and Garfunkel, this is not Garfunkel. And then Sean goes, without missing a beat, he goes, I Garfunkeled your mother. And then at the end of that, the real Alex Trebek came out, and Sean goes, well. Hang on, I got 1 second. He goes, well, two Trebeks. I feel like I'm in a Ration Brand commercial, 2 scoops of fruit. He goes, well, I guess it's true. Old married couples do start to look alike. It was so funny. That stuff's hilarious. And again, I went off track, but Richard Epcar was super nice. Meeting John Cena and interviewing him. For those who don't know, John Cena is like the top guy in WWE right now. First off, I thought I was going to have a heart attack when I met him because he is just so awesome. He's huge. He is like giant compared to me. He could like rip my head off if he wanted to. His hand nearly engulfs my hand. I was like, John Cena. And it took everything in me from acting all fangirlish. And it was so cool to talk to John Cena. And then again, of course, we've also had other great people on the show. Megami33 was awesome. She helped us with doing the first ever live taping of my show, which was totally awesome. We also had the voice of Mario and Luigi, Charles Martinet. That was awesome because it's freaking Mario.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Veronica Taylor, who was Ash Ketchum from the first 8 seasons of Pokemon. Truly epic, just because she was one of the people I grew up listening to. Watching. I wanted to be Ash for Halloween. I wanted to be Ash as an adult. I wanted to be Ash. And getting to say, Ash Ketchum, we challenge you to a Pokemon battle. Everything in the back of my head just blew out. Because I had been waiting 10 years to say that. And now I finally got my chance.
So it was totally worth it.
It was totally worth looking like an idiot. I don't care what people say. I love doing my show. My show, I can't pick a favorite, Caboose. There are too many people that have been on my show that I love. Frank Ferrante, Eric Stewart, Greg Abbey, even the newer guests like Eileen Stevens, Sarah Natachny. We're gonna have Eric Vale on the show this Friday, who's best known as Trunks from Dragon Ball Z and America from Hitalia. You know it's going to be pretty epic because America is pretty epic if you've ever seen Hitalia Axis Powers. And again, I can't pick. Please don't make me pick, Boost.
I won't make you pick then.
Each interview that I've had offers something unique. Whether I'm singing with Groucho Marx with the interview with Frank Ferrante, whether I'm signing the contract for the Duel to End the Rule with Seto Kaiba with Little Karibo, whether or not I'm running from Gohan doing Kamehameha Wave on a building at UC and it's blowing up and the show gets distorted, whether I'm threatening Konata Izumi from Lucky Star with Wendy Lee, who thinks that because I don't know what a Chaco cornet is, I have no idea what's going on in the world. Again, each interview offered something special that just separated from each other interview.
Fair enough. I mean, it's nice to know that you truly enjoy what you are doing. So is there anyone who you would like to speak to? Is there anyone in your mind that you would love to meet one day on your show?
Wow, that's actually kind of tough to answer. I met John Cena. I got to talk with Ash Ketchum. I got to hang with the epitome of cool in the Fonz. I got to hold the Intercontinental title with Kofi Kingston. I got to talk to freaking Mario and Luigi, guys who I grew up playing their games. Oh, there are a lot of people I would like to still talk to and meet. One person we'd love to get on the show is Sean Schimmel, who is Goku from Dragon Ball Z, because Goku is just awesome. Actually, Dragon Ball Z was one of the first shows that I ever got into as an anime fan besides Pokemon. Because Dragon Ball Z, it was larger than life. I mean, you look at all the stuff that it had done, and this was before the abridge. It was awesome before there was the word awesome. Dragon Ball Z pushed anime to its very limits. And the results were... I don't think that there's a show that can match the quality of Dragon Ball Z, the original. Even Dragon Ball Z Kai, it's just a fillerless version of the original Dragon Ball Z. It's still awesome, but the original Dragon Ball Z just had me going. I mean, every day I would come home, I would tune in, I would watch it with just this dumbstruck awe. And that's why I love Dragon Ball Z so much. It's such a great show, and I think that it's one of those shows that will be remembered even after we're all dead. Now, who else would I like to talk to? Oh man, that's kind of tough. Well, we have tried to actually get President Barack Obama on the show. Unfortunately, none of our emails ever got returned. I'm not a big fan of Obama, but it would be nice to talk to the President of the United States just to talk about, you know, on a college student level about what's going on in the world. You know, healthcare is kind of the war is kind of, you know, all this stuff's kind of. But it'd be really cool to talk to the President of the United States just because you think about every talk show personality that has gotten to talk to the president, and that separates them from the novices. To get a big get like the president on their show, you know that there's something special about that guy. I mean, well, maybe that's not the best thing to say, but it would be cool to have the president on my show.
I can imagine that being pretty neat.
Who else? One person I would really love to get, and would just set my wrestling heart on fire, I would love to get Hulk Hogan. Because the guy is the reason that wrestling is what it is today. Well, maybe not what it is today, but he's the guy that helped bring wrestling into the home. Before he came around, it was a weekend thing at your local high school gym. But Hulk Hogan, along, of course, with Roddy Piper during the mid-'80s, brought wrestling to networks like CBS NBC, even MTV. And the reason that it's so popular today is because those guys paved the way for the Attitude Era, which was, of course, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and that really brought wrestling into the home. And then for today, even though it's lost a lot of heart trying to go to PG, WWE is still dominating in the television ratings system. I mean, you look at all the great stuff that has happened on WWE programming, stuff that has stood the test of time. Every wrestling fan can say that they could watch Hulk Hogan pick up Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 3 and slam him to the ground. Before then, that wasn't a big deal. That actually was one of the reasons that I got into wrestling, because it pushed my mind and made me see things that I never thought were humanly possible. And that's why I love wrestling. I try to integrate it with my show as well. We do, oh boy. Let me try to collect my thoughts here for just one quick second. Wrestling is a big chunk of my life, again, because it taught me that nothing is impossible if you can push yourself hard enough and believe hard enough. That's why I like John Cena. No matter what people say about him, no matter what they say about his wrestling skills, no matter what they say about him being a modern-day Hulk Hogan, John Cena has never betrayed WWE. He has never given it up. And when I met him and talked with him after the interview, I gained a ton of respect for the man. Because he's not media hype. Let's face it, he's not media hype like Hogan was. John Cena is the legit real deal. And he is professional outside the ring, professional inside the ring. He's worked really hard to keep status quo where it is, and he deserves everything he's got and a whole lot more. He may not have a belt around his waist most of the time like Hogan, but he doesn't need a belt. He has earned my respect. But then again, Hulk Hogan's the guy that made wrestling what it is today. You know, if it weren't for guys like him, we probably wouldn't even know what it is. We'd probably be watching hockey or something. or European football. No offense.
I was trying to say no. I don't really watch football that much either, but fair enough. But so I mean, as I've said before, doing a talk show isn't easy. So you said before, like, always keep pushing to get interviews. But is there any other like advice you would give to someone who is trying to start their own shows? Any advice you would give them?
Any advice? It's kind of ironic. I ask these questions all the time on my show, and when I get asked them, I have no idea what to say. The one thing that I would have to say is, if you really, really want to do this, don't let anything stop you. Don't take no for an answer. I mean, sure, sometimes it can seem like everything's closing in on you. You're not the best out there, but you have to be able to separate yourself from everybody else. Think about something that will your show stand out from the rest. For example, my show, I play myself. I'm no fake cookie cutter or talk show host. I'm a crazy SOB. I my mind. I yelled at Seto Kaiba, and I'm still alive to tell the tale. I did that because I knew it was funny to watch some guy run his mouth and get his ass handed to him by one of dueling's greatest legends. It was ear grabbing, not eye grabbing because there was no video. Because really, he wants to see me. They'd rather hear me. Trust me, if you saw me, Caboose, it would blow your mind. It's that crazy. You know, you have to be able to separate yourself from the rest. What would make your show the creme de la creme? What would make it top dog in the pound? And for my show, it's that I bring the best of three worlds together. Anime, pro wrestling, and pop culture. So not only do we have the voice actors on the show, we get pro wrestlers, we get actors and TV stars on our show. We're not just one type of show. We're like the chocolate we're like the Neapolitan ice cream of talk shows. Well, because we know that there's an anime fan out there that may also like professional wrestling. There may be an anime fan who likes theater or television or pop culture that might like the pop culture aspect. We bring the best of all three together, and that's what makes us separate from the rest. Plus, we also get the full story. Too many shows I've seen nowadays, they just want to talk about the current stuff. They want to talk about the roles, you know. What's it like doing this character? What's it like doing that character? But there's so much more to these guests than just the voices they do. You know, their struggles, their stories. Every voice actor has a different story of how they got into the industry. And I've learned that over 3 years. And that's what we want to ask them. We want to give them the story that they deserve. Not just, what are you working on now? What was it like working on that? But the entire picture. You see, a voice actor is like a jigsaw puzzle. It's made of multiple pieces. And we want to be the ones to solve that puzzle. Put all those pieces together. Learn about their struggles in getting in the industry. Learn about their teaching skills or about their learning abilities. Learn about how they created their characters. Not just do this voice, do that voice. We don't treat them like jukeboxes. We want the entire story on how they got into the industry. And hopefully they have a lesson or an experience that would benefit our listeners who do want to go into voicing as well. See, not only do they get to tell their story, but they get to pass their information on to the next generation.
Fair enough. So, I mean, is there anything that you got planned for the future? Like, I mean, I think you mentioned like a guest that you're going to be having on soon. But is there anything else you're going to be doing in the future? Like, are you going to expand the show at all? Are you going to be appearing in anything else?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Caboose, because I am ready to announce several projects that we are working on for the All Taste Explosion Facebook page, Twitter page, and the homepage at alltasteexplosion.com. Coming this summer to bearcastradio.com, the first ever show of its kind, I bring to you all Equestrian Radio. It is the first ever live radio program that features the best music, both fan-made and program-made, from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Because let's be honest, Caboose, My Little Pony is an epidemic. It is a swarming thing all over the internet. Ponies are everywhere. They're becoming popular. And we realize that there are not enough hours in the day for the ponies. Or the broods. So, this summer, 2 hours every Friday, we're going to bring you the very best fan-made music that includes Skrillex and dubstep and some of the best music from the popular series. We're also going to have contests that tie into My Little Pony. We started this just last night. We're looking for the brony among bronies, the fan that stands above the rest. And if we find them and we like them, they will be the brony of the week. So, if you think that you are the brony among bronies, the ultimate pony fan, tweet me a 30-second video explaining why at ATExplosion with the hashtag brony of the week, and you might just end up next week's brony of the week. Also, I'm also proud to announce that this summer on Bearcast Radio, the All Taste Explosion Summer of Bigger Biggerness 2. Last year was the first summer of Bigger Biggerness when we had a flurry of guests on our show. Charles Martinet, Yuri Lowenthal, Arnie Roth from Distant Worlds, Tough Enough contestant Jeremiah Riggs, Veronica Taylor as well. We're going to have more names coming. We've already got confirmed Brentalfloss, the 8-bit Beethoven, if you will. He will be on the show hopefully this summer. We've got voice actor Michael McConaughey and voice actress Melody Spivak. We are talking right now and getting them on there as well. We are looking to get, and it's not confirmed, but we are looking to get pro wrestling legend Big Sexy Kevin Nash on the show as well. So we have something to offer to everybody. And of course, for all you U.S. listeners who like the Bob and Tom show, we are still in talk with popular personality Donnie Baker to be on the show this summer as well. So, Caboose, this summer, going to be big for BearcastRadio.com, going to be big for the Altis Explosion, and it's going to be big for the Dennis Daniels Show. We're also trying to get to Otakon to do a panel there, the Dennis Daniels Show Live 2, where we're going to talk with some hopefully some great guests and have some of our listeners interact as well.
Now that does sound really, really, really big, and I'm sure all your fans and everyone listening, I'm sure everyone's going to check this out when it comes out. That does sound really big,
yes,
and really exciting.
All my 5 followers. No, seriously, 5. No, I'm joking. We've got 12.
Well, better than nothing.
I guess so. It do a brisk business. I mean, again, we don't do this for the popularity. We don't do this for the credibility or just getting our name out there. We do it because we love it. And again, I can't do this show, of course, without an awesome co-host in my plucky co-host, the boss, the Mon, John Pokemon, who is also my brother. And he'll be coming back this Friday to do a special interview with Eric Vale, who is best known again from Trunks from Dragon Ball Z and America from Hitalia. So all you Hitalia fans out there and all you America maniacs, this is going to be an interview that you are not going to want to miss. We're going to have bald eagles, cheeseburgers. We're going to make fun of Canada a little bit just because that's what America does, make fun of Canada. I tell Prussia to buzz off because Prussia's kind of a jerk. We're going to have all kinds of great fun on the show this Friday at 6 o'clock on BearcastRadio.com. We're going to take your questions, and it should be a really great time. And we also have a bunch of great features on the show as well. We do Follow 5 Fridays, so any of our followers at AT Explosion, The Dennis Daniel, or John PKMN on Twitter, if you follow us, you might be featured in our Follow 5 Friday coming up this Friday. We also show cool apps for your smartphone that don't cost a dime in all new Freebie Fridays. And of course, the Brony of the Week. We're looking for the ultimate brony among bronies. And we have got all new contests coming up. We just got done with several My Little Pony contests. Caboose, I gotta tell you, these bronies are incredible because they will flock in masses just so that they can win a DVD. And I love the bronies because the bronies have just so much to say about the show. I never thought My Little Pony would become this popular.
Oh. Well, it's just one of those things. You just never know what will happen till it happens, basically.
Have you seen the original? I want to gag myself. My eyes out with a melon baller. But seeing this brand new one, it's amazing. It's awesome. The animation is cool. It's not full of its own pony crap. And the best part is, there's no Sandy Duncan and her creepy glass eye in this one.
Fair enough. Now, because, as I said, I'm sure your fans are going to be flocking towards all this other, but sadly, that's all the time we've got for right now. So, thank you very much for coming on the show. You have been an amazing guest. It's been great listening to a fellow talk show host.
Put me on.
And, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Daniel.
Hey, stop it. Go on, you crazy kids. Go out there and just from a mama, somebody tell a mama.
And I've been Caboos15. Catch you next time.
Fucking that chicken.